Good morning.
How you doing?
Good, and you?
To be honest, I'm feeling a little emotional.
Why?
Because it's our last episode. It's the final. It's done.
It went by really quickly.
Hey, and look at you. You're still skinny.
I'm really happy that you got a red Maserati for our final episode because my suit that I'm getting made is red.
I know. I'm stepping it up in
Yes,
life.
you are.
You know what the rule is?
What's the rule?
Fake it till you make it. So what's the plan today?
So today is our final episode and we thought it best to go to only the best restaurants, right?
Yeah.
And also we'll be going to view some art and go explore some art galleries, and we thought maybe it'd be fitting to dress up for the part. You guys always see us looking really casual. Well, me, maybe not Janez. Looking really casual, like we don't care. So today we're gonna look a little bit fancy. And we have some tailor-made suits and we're gonna explore some art galleries.
Oh, aren't we fancy? We're cruising around in a brand new Maserati, which I'm pretending to own. We're gonna go collect our suits, which we had designed last week, some Raphael McKendy suits. And then I'm going to introduce you to the Joburg art scene, my darling.
Which I absolutely love art, so I'm really excited to see art. And it's only fitting that we wear suits because we'll be fine dining today.
Fitted Italian African suits. It's nice, huh?
Very.
I'd go without the bra personally, but maybe you're a bit old for that now.
Yeah, I'm way too old.
But really, you were right, eh?
But what?
Suits for females.
Hot, eh?
Suits for females work. Like you had a vision there. Huh?
And I'm feeling myself.
Okay.
Oh. Alex, what do you think? Do you think that I should pin this slightly here or leave it with the bra showing?
I think if you can pin it slightly up and not have a bra, it's better than this with a bra.
Like there, right?
Yeah, I think just a little bit high, and then no bra is
We're gonna
better.
put it on the inside. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Yep.
No socks?
No
socks.
No socks, perfect. Should we try that on?
Yep.
Even without a jacket, it looks amazing.
Raphael, you're a
In hot
master.
today. Yeah.
And you are the master. This man is the master tailor in South Africa, right here.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. I'm very happy, you guys.
Look how nice.
Huh? I'm so happy. Wow.
Bravo.
There's nothing like a tailored suit.
Nothing.
Huh?
You guys can see how they fit on you. I think we're both really happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. I love this Raphael McKendy suit so much. I want to make a red shirt for it.
It's unbelievable. These guys are very talented. Oh, that feels good. Our first culinary delight of the day is a restaurant called,
DW1113.
I always forget that, and it is rated among the top 10 best restaurants in the country. In fact, Zomato have rated this as one of the best restaurants in Johannesburg.
And funny enough, it's quite a cozy little restaurant, but they offer food tasting as well as fine wine, so it should be quite an experience.
We're dangerous.
There's nobody there.
Hi, my name is Martins Ferreira. I'm the owner and chef of DW13. What we do at DW is upmarket fine dining with a casual twist. Everything's made with passion, everything's made in-house, and just great food. I believe the success of my business all comes down to the passionate people that work here, myself being here every day, being involved not just with the daily running of the kitchen, but the front of house, and being involved with dealing with customers and just helping where I can. You know, we want to take you on a journey, not just the food, but the wine. And, you know, it's from the moment you make that booking, the way you are treated on the phone, to the way you're received at the door. the experience from the maitre d' to the sommelier, how he explains the food and the wine, and all the love and attention to detail we put into everything we do at DW. So the signature dish today, which I'll be making for you, is a crispy fried polenta ball, served with the cauliflower spume, shaved cauliflower, a beurre noisette that's been finished off with capers, pine nuts, and sultanas, and crispy kale and porcini dust. Brilliant. So should we start putting the dish together?
Yes.
We're going to take the cauliflower shavings and just spread them out. And that's going to give a lot of texture to the dish. It's going to give you the nice cauliflower flavor, which we all know, so all natural. Then we'll take a bit of truffle oil, just a tiny, not a lot, just want a few drops of the truffle oil. Capers at the base. Because the whole idea is when you have this dish, that you take a scoop of the polenta ball with the spume, and you get a bit of everything in your mouth. So you have
And
these.
then the flavors, or it's like a
Yes.
flavor burst.
There's like encapsulations of different flavors, like the sweetness from the sultanas,
Yes.
the capers, the salty brininess, the richness of the cauliflower, the spume, and the polenta just all come and give you this amazing flavor in the mouth. And then just scatter those at the base.
So what would this be, a starter? I mean,
Yes,
when,
this-
when there's 6 courses, then it's no longer starter, main meal, and dessert. Teach
So-
me, educate me.
So this would be we sell it on the a la carte side as a starter, which will be a bigger portion, and on the tasting menu, it'll be the second dish on the menu, because it's a cold dish, the fried polenta ball, then a warm dish from the past, and then we go on to a palate cleanser, the main course, the pre-dessert, the dessert, the petit fours.
Cool.
So it's a beautiful journey with beautiful wines and just an example of, or a journey of what we are trying to, showcase at DW. So now we've deep fried the polenta, so it's beautiful and golden. So it's crispy on the outside, but the inside will be nice and soft and velvety and almost gooey.
It smells nice and velvety.
Like cheesy, nice and
Yeah.
cheesy. So now we've got put these 3 just around the sides. Now we're going to take the spuma and put it right in the center. Right.
Cauliflower cream, have you ever?
So now we're going to take the beurre noisette with the parsley, the sultanas, and the pine nuts.
Yeah.
And we're just going to lightly drizzle it over and around to get a bit of everything. And the butter is just going to help, also, give a bit more extra moisture to the dish. That's it. So we take the kale and create a little mountain on top for presentation purposes. That. And just to finish off, we do a nice, and that's the signature starter at DW. Well, for the last 7 years, we've been nominated for the Eat Out Restaurant Awards. We've won 4 out of those 7 years. Well, out of those 6 years, this will be the 7th year. So hopefully, we have been nominated again this year. So hopefully, we'll make the top 10 again. We've won the Gourmet Guide 2 plates, which is the highest award you can get for the Gourmet Guide. American Express Awards the last 7 years. Rousseau Restaurant 3 stars for the last 7 years. So, overall, we've been very successful in winning awards and accolades over the past 7 years.
Awesome.
Okay, Martinez, let's put you to the test. They say you're the best in the country.
Well, I think the dish you're about to have is probably the best dish in the country.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's quite unique, and I think it's the flavor profiles that you'll get. It's got a lot of interesting layers and lots of interesting textures involved. But then you get that lovely richness from the cauliflower spume, and then the cheesiness from the polenta, and then the crispiness of the kale and the porcini dust. It just comes together, gives you this very comforting, soothing sort of taste. And it's something that you're probably going to go, oh, that makes me feel so, so good on the inside, so warm and yummy.
How do I do this? Do I take a bit of everything?
I always say to the guys, try and take a bit of everything, try and get an experience of everything on the dish.
All the flavors.
Yes. You get a beautiful, salty sweetness coming through, the richness.
Do you know that I'm actually having, there's goosebumps.
That's what I want.
Goosebumps from, I've never had that before.
A foodgasm.
Yeah, goosebumps from food. I can feel it on my beard. That's phenomenal. Wow. You're a master. How does this happen? How do you create something like this?
Well, end of the day, you can't create a new ingredient. Everything's there. You've got to just take different techniques and different methods that you've learned in your past to put something together that's a bit different. And classic combinations of polenta and brown butter and sultanas has been around for years. The Italians have been doing it for years. But, combining things like cauliflower in a different way, as in aerating it, making it lighter. Once you aerate something, you have to remember that the flavor profile of something explodes more. Adding air to anything will increase the flavor profile of something. So that's what we've done. So you've really made intense flavors, but we've added lots of flavor to the polenta itself, the vegetable stock, the parmesan, the creme fraiche, the salt, the pepper.
The cauliflower cream is orgasmic.
Thank you.
Wow.
I told you, I'm getting goosebumps from this meal. It's unbelievable. What is your key to like a successful menu?
I think it's all about balance. You have to look at a menu that will entice everyone that comes for dinner to eat something off the menu. I do have a very small menu, so it's very precise. It's very concentrated on very bold flavors, very set in a signature style. So it's 5 starters, 6 mains, 5 desserts. But every dish has got something different, something unique. I wake up every morning going to myself, how can I prepare a dish for yourself or anyone that comes to my restaurant that's going to blow their minds or just satisfy them to a point where they walk away going, you know what, that was the best meal of my life. And if I've done that, then my day is perfect.
Well, you know what? This was the best meal of my life.
Wow, thank you very much.
Even the garnishing, gone.
Like I said, goosebumps everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing we're all about the art of food is real art,
Yes,
visual art.
yes.
My favorite gallery in Johannesburg, without doubt, it's one of the beacons, one of the landmarks along Jan Smuts and in Johannesburg is Circa Gallery. It's that beautiful kind of oval gallery with the wooden slats coming down. It really is a contemporary masterpiece in Johannesburg skyline. This building to me is iconic.
It is a lovely building, and
beautiful.
the entrance, the staircase, everything's amazing.
And you've
But
got the Everard Reed Gallery here, which is 100 years old. And in fact, this entire lane has some of the top art galleries in Johannesburg in one space.
So, Marcus, we've just walked into your exhibition and I see it's black. Does this fall in a particular, is this one series of work that you're doing, or is your style more or less the same all the time?
What happened is I spent some time in the Smithsonian Museum of African Art in Washington on a kind of artist fellowship. I was there for 2 months, and while I was in the storerooms of the museum, there were all these artifacts standing around. And I was quite struck by the fact that these objects of Africa are standing in this foreign place, and they're kind of resting, waiting to be seen. And here in Africa, we look for these objects, but they no longer exist in our collections. They're sitting in other parts of the world. And so I was walking through his collection, and I thought, it's quite interesting how I was exploring Africa like it was a first exploration, as if explorers came to the continent itself. And I started thinking of them as landscapes. And so I asked the conservators and the curators to turn off the lights in the storeroom. And I used a torch and my camera, and I started to create these shadowscapes. And obviously there's where the black and white comes from, because the shadow landscape became this very stark contrast of these kind of shapes against the back walls of these objects that were resting. And suddenly everyone started talking about where these objects come from, and that they come from this unexplained land. And so it became this land of exploration and imagination. And the black and white helps you to do that. It gives your mind the opportunity to kind of delve into that world. This work really starts off probably on that side with these very strong contrast works. There's a progression in their show. On the one hand, these are literally tracings from these shadowscapes of these objects. And then as I allow myself to imagine more and more what these landscapes could be, where these objects come from, my imagination takes up, and so do I become looser and freer.
So you do the whole thing in one go?
Yes, I mean, obviously, technically, there are moments where it doesn't fit in my studio, you know, and I've got sections standing up, but usually I put 2 or 3 canvases in relation to each other, and I allow the work to evolve. You walk up to this work, and you've got this shifting shadow landscape that you can see, and maybe you can recognize a few objects that you might know from the African trade market or from the kind of collectors' stores, etc. And you might be able to say, yeah, these are African art objects, but essentially what you're looking at are a series of abstract landscapes that keep on changing, because the timers on the lights that are behind these objects change regularly at different intervals, so you never get the same image.
And it's exactly the same depth as what you have in your work.
And so what you realize is that actually I'm giving you clues here so that you can hopefully read the work without having to read a long text. So even though you might be confused at first by seeing these abstract landscape and go, oh, this is landscape work or something, I'm hoping that by looking at this first, you go, wait a minute, is this just a landscape or is there more to it? And the big reveal for me, and why it's really important, is what's on the other side. I wanted to capture these two sides, this slick surface that has this kind of strange membrane, and then on the other side, just kind of the rawness of it, where you can imagine someone was making that. Somehow we feel through our interaction with documenting the space and capturing the space and creating a sense of ownership, we take a piece with it, of it with us. And we feel like it belongs to us. And we've got bigger issues around occupation, the colonial history, not only in South Africa, in the whole continent, and the current questions of future colonialization with the kind of capital intake of, for example, China. And we don't question these things often enough. And so I'm hoping that with this work, I allow you to play enough and imagine enough, but remember that the title is Occupy, and that we are dealing with landscapes of questions, not just pretty pictures.
I love art, guys, but after a while, I'm just like, can I eat? I'm hangry right now.
Over it.
Over it.
Why don't we go to the most Instagrammed restaurant in Johannesburg?
This place that we're about to go to doesn't even need reviews. It's the most Instagram restaurant. Marble, shall we? Friend, this is sway.
Is it?
Yes.
You know what I'm happy about?
What?
I'm happy that you haven't lost your marbles after 13 weeks with me.
Do you think you're funny?
My name is David Higgs. I'm the chef at Marble Restaurant in Rosebank, Johannesburg. The concept of Marble is really live fire cooking. It's cooking everything that we do, whether it's fish, vegetables or meat, is cooked either in the oven behind me or in the bread oven behind me or on the fire behind me. And together with that, we wanted a comfortable, sophisticated environment. We want people to come out, we wanted people to dress up a little bit. And that's exactly what's happening, People come out, they sit, they relax. We thought we were going to turn tables and it's going to be this in and out sort of story. People really, they come in and they enjoy the space for what it is. And the fire's got a lot to do with that, It's just that South African thing, or that African thing really, where people come in and they just feel comfortable. And it's not stuffy. The guys are working there. It creates a relaxed environment. The fire, again, accentuates product. So if you've got a bad product, it will make it worse. If you've got a good product, it will make it better. It doesn't make any sense, but that's exactly what the fire does.
This would not be biting about if we didn't stop by at Marble. This is one of the places I really, really wanted to be at. And David's been from fine dining to 5-star brine because it's proudly South African. David, what are you preparing for us today?
Well, we've got some sirloin here. With cooking on fire, you always need meat with a little bit of fat in. And one of the things that we struggle with in South Africa is the marbling of meat. We don't have a hell of a lot of it. So the sirloin's got a nice bit of fat on the outside, and you can see this one does have a few specks of fat on the inside, but we're not really going to, consistently, we can't really get much more than that.
And then in Mushroom Ngaga, where does one find such humongous mushrooms?
They're beautiful. So these are porcinis, from Kokstad. And just down in Dunkel, the fruit and veg in Dunkel, they sell them there off the shelf, so you can get them from them. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the steak, the sirloin. We're going to cook it medium rare. We're going to slice it, and we're just going to make a lovely warm salad of rocket, fresh porcini mushrooms. And then in the smoker behind us, we've got beautiful onions that we've peeled and we've roasted in the oven. Now we're just smoking them lightly.
So let's get started.
Excellent. So we're going to start off with the meat first.
Okay.
Over there with the fire. So this is a lovely little salt blend that we make.
What's in there?
No, I can't tell you. I'll have to kill you.
Because I'm going to make it at home.
No, you can't make it at home.
Fine.
So no, it's just a combination of salt, a pepper, chipotle chili powder, and the third ingredient I can't tell you.
Okay,
because
that's
a
fine.
secret.
You can keep the secret.
With sirloin, what we do is we put it on the fat side first, just to render down that fat to make it a little bit crispy, so that it's edible. Sometimes when you cook the steak, it doesn't.
The fat doesn't cook.
Exactly. So we're just going to pop that on the heat. So we're just going to start cooking that down slowly. When the fat is nice and crispy, we start it off at a high temperature to give it lovely color, and then we sort of tone it down. We bring it to a lower temperature.
How do you turn it down? You just adjust the
Adjust the
sort of
height,
level.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. What's important with the porcini mushrooms, it's got quite a stringy outside. So what we do is we just peel that, and then what a lot of people do is they also take out this almost sponge that we have, or the gills they call them. So you can take that out as well if you wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna go with these mushrooms now.
We don't spice them, we just put them on.
We're gonna spice them on the grill.
Okay. So we spice these when they're on the grill?
Yeah. As they're on the grill, when they come off, what we do is we squeeze a bit of fresh lemon onto them and just onto the plate. The less you work with mushrooms, the better, really.
Oh man. Ew.
I think the important thing is, when we talk about meat, is resting.
People don't really do that. It needs to rest.
At
least 10
unfortunately,
minutes.
and unfortunately, what happens is it spoils. You know, as you cut into it, the blood runs out, it dries out. Just smoke these little onions, so they're all nice and ready. Beautiful flavor. Put those on the plate. So what we also do with all our meat that comes off the fire is we have what we call a little board dressing. So it's chopped herbs and olive oil essentially. It just sort of freshens up the steak. And we finish it off with Parmesan cheese.
That's nice and crisp.
Yeah. Dressing. Finish it off with Parmesan cheese. And essentially, that's really what you.
It looks
What you are. Yeah,
delicious.
it's fresh, it's seasonal, it's been cooked on the fire. You don't really get better than that.
Yes, the moment of truth. Listen, I want to get as much meat as I can before Janez gets here.
Best you like.
I'm not lying, it's delicious.
Could she handle the heat in the kitchen?
There were a couple of. She was complaining about her butts, but.
Now, I know Amanda's very proud of being an African woman, and this is definitely your type of food.
Yo,
Huh? Hey?
where there's meat, there's the Swazi, yeah?
There's this one. Good job.
Janez, after this bite, you can have a taste.
Good flavor, good amount of salt, fire.
It is delicious. It is like, it really is a 5-star bite. Everything is fresh. You gotta come here. You really gotta come here. You know I wouldn't lie to you guys.
And we make great cocktails.
Dave, the search is over for the ultimate dry master. We found him.
Yeah.
Incredible. What a season this has been, eh?
I know, you've annoyed me so much.
13 weeks of eating the best food, and we've ended it at probably the most incredible looking restaurant in Johannesburg with incredible meat. And you know what? I failed with my mission.
What, to get me a butt?
No, to fatten you up.
It's been so fun. I've really enjoyed myself. And I mean, anyone would take this job, eating the best food in Johannesburg. And what a better way to end it at Marble.
Cheers to Marble.
Cheers.
Throughout the show, this is Janez. I'm gonna go to the barber. I'm like, okay, so when are we doing some lady stuff? Okay, hairdresser, maybe, massage. Okay, you did take me for massage, but that's not lady, that's Jill. Then I'm gonna go get a suit. Oh, really? You're gonna go get a suit on your own? Huh.
That's cheeky.